Welcome to a new episode of Wizard Outlook. I'm your host, Cardell Dudley. And been a tough stretch for the Wizards this week. They battled the defending champs, but they faded late. The OKC 127 to 108. Um, Ray, for most of the game, they fought hard. They try to stay with the champs, but the defense of the champs, once again, proved to be the difference maker. So, what are your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, that's where it starts for me. OKC's defense. I mean, they forced 23 turnovers and scored 26 points off those turnovers. That's the game right there. Like you said, the Wizards they kept pace for a bulk of the contest. And I mean, they're two teams in two completely different phases right now. Like you brought up, the OKC defending champions, the Wizards. We all know what their situation is. They're trying to rebuild, but it's good to see their fight, but the execution has to start to match. We know they had a tall task tonight, but yeah, OKC's definitely defense. They just overwhelmed them, and it was too much to overcome. You know, yeah, turnovers and points in the paint. Those were the two things that went dramatically in OKC's favor, and that decided the game. Everywhere else, the Wizards either outperformed them or were right there with them. They won the battle on the glass. They shot considerably better from 3-point range. But yeah, you can't get the ball up 23 times and only force six turnovers yourself. So not only did OKC get it done defensively, offensively they were sharp. They were careful with the ball. They executed, and yeah, the Wizards they just could never get over that hump, and they were in it until they weren't. And OKC won the fourth quarter 35-24. And that just shows when the team of their talent goes into kill mode, they can go ahead and put the lights out. And that's what we saw happen tonight. Yeah, man. We know what Shea's going to do. He added 31 or 11 to 20. Nice efficient night for him. Isaiah Joe off the bench. The other guys just contributing in many other ways. OKC, they just got it's no drop off no matter who they have on the court, pretty much, and that's just tough to deal with, no matter who you are. So yeah, man, it's I didn't expect I didn't expect the Wizards to come away with the win tonight, to be perfectly honest, and for most of the game, it's not much to criticize, but yeah, those turnovers, that was just a hole too big to get themselves out of.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. They're a well-oiled machine. They're a team that know how to win games, big games, the biggest games, and that's kind of what you saw down the stretch and why they pulled away from the Wizards, especially in the fourth quarter. You already talked about the turnovers and the points it led to. Um, yeah, but the bench points, 52-41. That was obviously you talked about Isaiah Joe by AJ Mitchell. They both had 20. Um, Isaiah Joe shot the leather off the ball. He was 7 to 12 from the field, and AJ Mitchell was 6 to 15 from the field. Just a couple of baskets away, but he got to the line 6 times and made all six. You see what I'm saying? So they both had 20. They combined for 40 off the bench. That you add Shea's 31. That's 71 points between three players. That's tough. And then all you need is everybody else just to chip in something.
Mhm.
7 to 8. Play lockdown defense and it's a win. And that's what makes their team so dangerous, man. They literally can go 1 through 15. Whoever they got active on the roster, man. And keep in mind they did this without Shet. Shet didn't even play today. You know what I mean? So, um, you know, and without them shooting the three ball that we saw them last year shoot at, the efficient clip that they shot at last year, man. You know what I mean? They shot 32%. The Wizards shot 42% for the game. That's another reason why they stayed in it for the most part. But they faded late. And then again with OKC, you got to defend them without fouling because they
Mhm.
get to the line, they hit their free throws. They got to the line 28 times and 23 hit 82% of them. Like I said, a winning formula. They wasn't hitting their threes, even though they shot a lot. They shot 49 threes. They didn't hit them. So they got to the line and They made 82% of them, whereas the Wizards they shot a good percentage, 88, but they were 15 and 17. They didn't get there nearly as much. Um, it's hard to it's hard to deal with a team, especially an elite team like this. You got to win every little battle, the 50-50 balls, the rebounds, can't turn the ball over. You got to shoot efficient. You got to defend efficient. Like, you have no room for error to beat OKC, especially at their crib. It's hard enough if they came to your building to beat them at their crib. And the crazy part is watching the game, they didn't even play their A game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. I mean, it's no moral victories, but we got to take it for what it is with the state of the Wizards. I will say this: it's encouraging that they battled them, because last year it was over by halftime. It was just a beatdown.
Oh yeah.
But they're competing, so it shows they're progressing towards in the right direction. They just got more work to do to try to eventually beat these teams, and you can't fade. You got to be able to. You got to play 48 minutes. You got to play a total of 48 minutes, and that's something the Wizards got to continue to learn. It was good to see Bilal Coulibaly come back. First game back, played well, especially just coming off the injured list, man. Just basically, you know what I mean. 6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 7 from deep. Wish he would have got to the line a lot more. He was 2 for 2, but he had 8 rebounds and 4 assists, man. You know what I mean? And man, your first game back, normally they try to bring you back off an injury against a team that's not so good. And he came back, jumped right in against the champs. You know what I mean? So, like, hey, man, it's only downhill from here. I might as well see what it is. And he had a solid outing, so I know he got confidence, even though they didn't win moving forward, man. But, yeah, man, the Wizards, I know they like to get up and down with that pace, but the one thing against a team of OKC's caliber with that pace, you got to be efficient. Because when you take bad shots, when you turn the ball over, they will make you pay. And they don't even play a high pace. Like, their pace, I think they're like 26 in the NBA in pace. So they play at their pace and rely on their defense to shut yours down. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna eventually come over here with our style, we're gonna beat you. Because our defense just not gonna have it. And that's what you had, man. So it was good to see him, come back and do well. But yeah, the Wizards bench, some of the starters didn't play as well as they would like to, like Chris Middleton. Keyshawn that put up his numbers that he's played and that he's put up in the last few games. CJ McCollum, was good to see him finally get some shots to fall. Had the team high 19 points to 6 to 10. But outside of that, they really didn't get much from the bench, man. And they need that energy, especially on the road. They need that energy and they need the production from the bench, man. So, there's some interesting questions revolving the Wizards moving forward, because now with Coulibaly back, whose minutes going to get cut? Like, it's cool to be deep at a position, but that wing position is super, super deep. So there's going to be some pissed off players here and there in the games, man, because you don't know. It depends on the matchup and how you play with the minutes you got. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to see how that's going to impact things moving forward, because we all know how players are, especially in the league. They're not trying to be involved in doing play here, not play there. They got some question marks with that moving forward, but that's for the coaching staff to handle, man. We just call it like we see when they play, man. But it is what it is. I also want to throw out there Isaiah Hartenstein. He came to play. 17, 8 and 5. He's the reason why I saw. He's like, sorry, we're gonna cool all that off. That you had against Philly. That ain't going down here. Because I always say OKC team defense, they're like piranhas. So, like, you can get by the first one, but the rest of them just gonna swarm you and pounce on you, and it's gonna seem like you're getting jumped. And then that's when the turnovers come, because you just hot potato in that zone, and then you playing right into their hands, and that's what they want, man. So, it is what it is. Casey Wallace, I felt, was pretty. He had a hell of an impact. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I mean, we can go on for days, man. Like I said, you got to deal with that whole team. Shea, rightfully so, he's the leader of the pack, but you got to deal with the whole roster, and that's just tough to deal with, man. So, we're gonna move forward. Player of the game.
Yeah, I gotta go SGA. Like I said, 31 points on 11 to 20. Super efficient. Made all his free throws. Shot 50% from three. Also added 7 assists and 3 rebounds. He's the head of the snake. They go as he goes. But having a dynamic player like that at the helm, plus their depth, I mean, that's why they're defending champs. And yeah, he definitely laid the way tonight.
Yeah, no argument here. I agree with you. He made it look easy, man. 31, 7 to 3, but his shooting splits was 55, 50, and 100. He felt nothing. He felt no resistance. And if you can't make him feel resistance, it's going to trickle down to a couple other players, as we just stated. And they're going to beat you because their defense ain't going to ever go nowhere. They're going to be there. You just have to make some tough shots. But when you don't make it tough on him and he's that efficient, man, it's a long night. And honestly, I felt like if he really wanted to go in, he could have. I think he just like, we got the W, we good. It kind of deal. Let me sit, get some rest and whatnot. Because he was scorching hot. He had it working on all cylinders, man. So yeah, kudos to him. That's why he's MVP and Finals MVP. X Factor.
Oh man, another crowded field. Sheesh. Guess I go Isaiah Joe. Yeah, his shooting was just added another component to OKC tonight. We've seen a few times this season where the Wizards they'll either be in a game, trying to get back into a game, making a run, and it's just somebody that's a thorn in their side and keeps them at bay, kind of like a boxer with a good jab. And I think Isaiah Joe was that guy tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna side with that. I was kind of leaning towards saying AJ Joe, but I'm gonna go Isaiah because he was more efficient, and his rebound along with his defense. Just feel like he impacted the game in more ways than AJ. AJ put up points and he defended, but Joe did a little bit more as far as the tangible stuff, rebounds, facilitating, and all that. Like I said, man, they can kill you in so many ways, man. It seemed like they play small, and you like, all right, we got the size advantage, but they some tough, stocky, athletic, intelligent, like piranhas, man. It's nothing sweet on that roster at all, man. Like they draft and they look for a certain quality of character to play in that roster, and they not rude, they not loud, all that stuff like that, but they're dogs. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm still in line for Jerry West. They're wolves. They eat dogs. So that's why they're the champs. And that's what you see, man. Like, you really don't get a break. You just get a different version of what you just face. You know what I'm saying? And that wears you down. Like, the Wizards was fighting about 2.5, close to 3/4. They was right there. Then piranhas, they got to you. They didn't stop eating the whole package. More piranhas just kept coming, and it's a wrap. You just get ate up, and that's what happened, man. So yeah, definitely him, man. And I think the rest of the league 6-0 for the OKC. I think the rest of the league better get their act together because they off to a hell of a start. And I don't think nobody want to go. It was hell going to OKC to deal with them when they didn't know how to win a championship. Now that they know how, and it's a chance that right now they off to such a strong start where they could possibly be working on trying to get another home court advantage throughout the playoffs. That's tough, man. You don't want them problems, man. The rest of the league better figure it out. That's exactly what's going to happen, and then they would be the heavy favorites to try to repeat if they get that, man. So. Before we get out of here, man, just moving forward, man, what would you like to see from the Wizards to try to, their next game is obviously Saturday to play the Orlando Magic back in DC. What would you want to see, man, to change to get a win, a much needed win?
Much like tonight against Orlando, they're gonna have to deal with a lot of size and athleticism, and they got to handle that better. They can't continue to be overwhelmed because I think that just knocks them off course. So they definitely got to be tougher and not allow that to knock them off their game. And then just more consistent execution. Like they have times during games where everything's flowing perfectly offensively, and then they have times where it looks like they are just playing together for the first time. That's got to change, man. And even if they have some lapses, they just can't be as long as they've been. Because I think that's what trips them up. They just go for so long with things being in disarray that it just puts them in a hole they can't get out of. So if they can shore up those two things, I think we'll start to see them have some success.
I agree with you as well. Thing about it, Orlando struggling. They 1-4. I mean, they struggling. Um, Paulo, he's averaging 23 and 9 and 3, but he's not efficient at all. Like not even close, man. He's shooting 40% from the field, 15% from 3, 75% from the free throw line. He's been off, man. And Desmond Bain as well. He was supposed to be the shooter that they didn't have, and so far this season, he's shooting 26% from deep. I know it takes time; it's still early, but it's not even just that. Their team defense, like that's something they kind of hung their head on the last couple of years, being a physical, tough defensive team to go with the talent and offensive versatility that they have. They 22nd in the NBA in points allowed, giving up 122.6. And they're 22nd in defensive rating, 118.5. So they got their issues as well. So the Wizards are struggling, Orlando is struggling. But they're coming to your house. So this is a definite chance for the Wizards to let's try to utilize their struggles to help us get on track so we can get this win, man. It's a dog-eat-dog world. That's what it is in the NBA. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. But thanks everyone for joining us, man. We'll be back here on Saturday for a pregame show before they take on the Magic, and obviously for Wizards Outlook, following the conclusion of the game, man. Talk to you guys later.